Hey guys, it's John again. Today we are looking to play some Kerbal Space Program. Today we'll be putting just a basic rocket into orbit, and I'll show you guys kind of what to do, what to put on your rockets, and we'll see how it ends up. So we're going to go to a resumed saved one that we had, CASA. And what we're going to do here, go into our facilities. So to start out, let's pick a name for it. Well, let's name it Orbiter 1. Orbitor 1. Okay, so what we're going to want to start with is our command pod, the MK1. Set that up here. We'll go to utility and grab our parachute. Okay. Structural. Go to the stack decoupler here. Now, for the tricky part, what do we want for propulsion? If we're just going to do an orbit, we'll go T800 again. We'll need a little bit more fuel. I'll see if I can find the T400 here. Yes. This bad boy right here. Alright. Now for an engine, we're going to put on the LBT30 liquid fuel engine. Attach that to the bottom. Okay. Now for a thing that we're going to do differently to get a little bit more power out of this rocket, we're going to go into structural. We're going to grab a radial decoupler. Put it on the symmetry mode of 2. And just latch it onto the bottom there. When you do that, now you have 2 on each side, and they're in the exact same spot. Okay, so we're just going to grab one of these RT10 solid rocket boosters. I'm not a huge fan of solid rocket boosters because you do not have much control over the thrust, or the throttle, sorry. So I'm not a huge fan of them, but we'll just do it for this one. Now we're going to go into utility. We don't know how long we're going to be in space, so I'm going to grab 4 of the Z100 battery packs. And we'll throw them up there. So this should get us there. So now we'll go to our launch pad. I think that's good. So there's Orbiter 1. Now, like I've said before, what we want to do here, we want our solid rocket boosters to fire first. We want them to decouple. We'll start the main engine, and then once we get into orbit, we'll decouple. Or once we get onto our descent, we'll decouple. Then we have our parachute opening. So yet again, just hold shift. Actually, you know what, for this one, don't hold shift. Just leave it down at the bottom. Just press T and then space. So now, I'm going to right click the main engine, activate engine, but do not throttle up yet because we want to wait until our rocket boosters are done before we do that. Okay, as they're almost done here, we'll fire up the main engine. Decouple them. There we go. We're on our voyage out. So now we're going to wait till we get to about 10,000 meters before we go anywhere. So we're just going to keep going upwards. Now I like to angle it here just above the 90 degree. Just above the 90 degree mark, I find it gives you that little extra bit of height. And that's just what I've watched from when I started to learn doing how to do this. So go into your orbit map. Bring up your orbit ball. I like to open up the resources so I see how much fuel I have. And watch this until, I like to do it until it gets to about 65,000 feet. And just watch your fuel as you go up. Alright, so press X to cut your throttle. Alright, and select at the apoapsis, add maneuver, and take this guy on the right here, just expand it out. There we go, so we'll have an orbit of 60,000 feet and 145,000, or meters, sorry. Alright. So there we go. So now you're just going to want to move the spacecraft over to the blue marker here. Just make sure when you do this you have your batteries. As doing this does, you will lose an electric charge. So if you only have your power from your capsule and you run out of power, you won't be able to open your parachute on the way back down. So it kind of puts you in a bit of a rock and a hard spot here. So, just on our way up here still, I like to do this in the orbit map. That way I can see what's going on with the orbit. That's just my preference. You can do it inside the thing. So when you have a maneuver, that's how much thrust. That's how much thrust you're missing. That's how much you need to achieve for it to work. That's how long. So you've got 8 seconds, and then that's how long you're going to burn for 42. So I like to start at the 2-second mark, just so we can get the main engine going full force. As you can see here, the orbit's expanding, and also the speed required is going down, as our resources are too. So I'm hoping we don't run out of fuel on this. I don't think we will, but you never know. Alright, so then you press X. Going over 64,000 feet, 117,000 feet, and we've still got a little bit of fuel left. So we'll close this down here. And we were now in orbit. So no one really knows what that is there. I don't know if it's a reflection from the sun that is there or what it is, but sometimes you even get it when you're in the dark side of the planet and there's no sun there. So as you can see, Min is off there in the background. And yeah, we're just floating out here in space. Actually, we're actually not in space yet, according to this. You'll be in space when you hit 70,000 feet. But you're still kind of in space. So while we're actually up here today, once we get to a high enough altitude, I'll take us on an EVA. And we'll do that. So what I'm actually going to do is make a maneuver here to bring us back down. You set it here. You pull this one here. I like to pull it just so you're just coming into the atmosphere. That way it doesn't use up very much fuel when you have to do it. Alright, so we'll go into staging. And we'll just have to wait until we're at 70,000 feet. So I'll fast forward here. So we're at 70,000 feet that way. We're in a kind of like a safe zone. I'm not sure what would happen if we got it now. I don't know if he would fly off and then plummet to the planet, or what would happen. So we're just going to wait, because I don't want to lose Jebediah, because he's probably my favorite person in the game. I don't know why. I think it's just a cool name, but yeah. Alright, so you'll hear the music. The music changes when you get into space, as does this. So you can fast forward. I think it's up to 10,000 times now. So what we'll do here, We'll hover over Jebediah and we'll do Eva. He is now there. To let go, you just press space. Just let me see here. You press R for the jetpacks to start working. I like to have this down because you only have so much propellant. So there's our spacecraft there. It's a beautiful view. So you just don't want to go too far because I've had a few experiences where I haven't been able to get back. So control is to go down, shift is to go up. It's been a little while since I've done this, so just give me a break, guys. Well, this is kind of awkward. It can be kind of tricky too. The ship does move, but I'm just terrible at it actually. I don't do it very often, so oops. Oh, we'll get there one of these days, guys. Just want to get there before we get to the maneuver point. That's all. Try and press F as fast as I can. All right, there we go. We're on. So you press F again, and we're back inside the ship. So usually, if you're playing the story mode or the career mode, you can go out and you can take samples. When you're on other planets, you can get out your pod here and walk around. You can also walk around on Kerbin. It's kind of fun, but after you do it for a little while, there's different biomes within the planet that you can go on. So there's like mountains, there's beaches, there's fields, there's like the tarmac. You can collect samples down there when you're in the career mode. We're not in the career mode in this one, just in sandbox, just so I can show you guys some basic learning skills on here. Basic, I don't even know if you call it physics skills, but you know, simple stuff like that. So we'll now fast forward here so I don't bore you guys too much. Let's fast forward just a tad more. As you can see down at the bottom of the screen, the time going down. I usually like to stop at around the 2-minute mark. That way you still have time to do anything else you have to do before you hit your target. So as you can see, this is the slow down target. You aim your spacecraft, you're going the opposite way. If I'm pointing this way now, and the spacecraft is orbiting this way. So when we thrust try to go this way, it'll slow us down and bring us closer to the planet. So we've got 1 minute and 4 seconds before supposed to come in. What I'm going to do, just for video's sake, I'm just going to close that down, and I'm going to floor it, going the wrong direction. So as you can see, there it is coming down, and we just ran out of fuel. Okay, so we're just kind of sitting here now. So this is where I'd say press space, press again, and we have now ejected. Press T, and that shuts off the SAS, so you maintain your electric charge. If you lose your electric charge while you're falling, you're kind of done, because you won't be able to open your parachute. So that's just what I like to do here. I'll speed it up here so we can get closer. I'm just going to press X. You can't fast forward when you are in, or when you're throttled up. So we are now back into Kerbin's atmosphere, where 70,000 feet is where it stops you from fast forwarding. So we are we're plummeting towards the planet right now. You can't see the spacecraft because there it is right there, because it is dark out. But we are slowly making our way down there. Fast forward a little bit. That way video's a little shorter for you guys. There's not much to see at this part here. I usually like to land in the daylight, but since I didn't have much fuel to do that, I didn't really have the option. But Doesn't matter, we can land whatever. So as you can see here, that little red dot, that's the bottom of the pod. We're re-entering the atmosphere. So that's just from the friction. Certain things, like if you have solar panels open, when you come through there, they'll get ripped off. They'll be out floating around forever. Sometimes I've found if you have decouplers that didn't go off, they sometimes fly off. Just depends all on the ship. Sometimes legs and stuff will fly off. So there's our parachute opening there. The parachute's now open. You can see the condition of it. It says it's yellow, probably from the speed that we came in at. So this will fall. This will do this until you hit 500 meters. So don't freak out. I freaked out the first time it happened to me because I thought I'm dead. Like I thought we were going to slam into the ground because it was just this. So this the main parachute completely opens up at 500 meters. The pod itself, I think, can withstand, I think, an impact of, usually I wouldn't try and make an impact more than 10 meters a second. You're kind of pushing it to the limit there. As you can see from what it looks like, we're going to be landing in the ocean. 3,000 meters here now. Just going to speed it up a touch here. Okay, so we'll pause it. 1,500 meters. Falling, 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 falling. I'll try and keep it somewhat. See, 500 meters, that opens up. Speed drops right back down. So what I'll show you guys while we're falling, because it takes a little while, is the IVA, sorry. This is kind of cool. You can sit inside the pod. My resolution, it's kind of messed up because I play on my TV. Everything's blurry, but usually when it's a different resolution, you can see everything in there. To get out of here, because it confused the hell out of me the first time I did it, you press C, and it, I think it just stands for camera. It'll get you out of there, and you'll be able to see outside again. Which I wish I learned earlier, because whenever I'd press C, it would put me in there, and then I'd freak out, and I wouldn't know how to get back out, so I'd either complete the flight in there, or I'd completely cancel the flight. Which was kind of annoying sometimes, because I've done 1 or 2 missions where you've gone into like deep space, like 400, 500,000 meters out, or I've done a mission going to the moon. On the way back in, I pressed C and I couldn't figure out how to get back, so I just thought, oh, whatever, I'll just cancel the mission. Terrible idea. Alright, so we've splashed down. The space pod itself must be magical floating, because there's no inflatables on it, and I bet you the thing's probably like a rock. Alright guys, so that is all for this video. The next video, I think I'm going to try and do staged rockets. We'll just go up and we'll come back down. After that, we'll do a deep space, by deep space I mean like 500,000 meter orbit. We'll do a fairly large orbit, or if I feel up to it, we'll go to moon, and we'll orbit the moon 1 or 2 times and come back. Then after that, we'll figure out an orbit or something like that, and eventually we're going to move on to other planets. I'll start doing satellites and stuff like that, rovers, and I'll start doing a space station too. So just stay tuned. Comment, like, subscribe, tell your friends, post it on Facebook, whatever you want. Just get us out here. The more viewers we have, the more opportunities I have for different games, different types of things. So I'll be doing like live stream stuff like that. So those will be the main things I'll only do once I get enough subscribers and viewers, so I know people are watching. Alright guys, thanks for your time, and I'll keep you posted, and you'll see the next video on here probably within the next couple of days. Thanks a lot.